One is the concept that there is money missing in the system. Somehow, $21 trillion has somehow vaporized. So we want to touch on that. And then we want to...
more, and more.
And more. And then we want to touch on this idea of this control grid, this digital cage that's being built around the people that will control and monitor and all that. We want to touch on that a bit because you've done great work on that. And then the last question, everyone is asking frequently, who is it that these politicians, bankers, media personalities, who is it that these financial folks, who are they all working for? And you've come up with this phrase, you say Mr. Global,
right?
Which I think is a great way to capture it. And maybe as we get deeper into the hour, we'll dig into exactly who is Mr. Global.
Okay.
All right. So let's start off on the 21 trillion. You've done several reports. You've talked about it at length. $21 trillion is missing.
Yeah. So let me go back. The U.S. government obviously has laws related to how they're supposed to manage our tax dollars. Mm-hmm. And the money they borrow, much of that money being borrowed from our retirement savings or pension funds. So you have a constitutional provisions related to financial management that say Congress has to appropriate money that's spent. So you can't spend money you haven't approved by Congress. And then it has to be disclosed. So if we spend $2 billion a year or, $2 trillion a year, we have to disclose, here's the money we collected from you, here's the money we borrowed from you, and here's what we did with your money. Mm-hmm. Okay, so those are the constitutional. Then you have a layer of financial management laws, which are quite good, about the details of how both the central bank and fiscal policy money is supposed to be managed. And then there's another layer of regulations. If you go to our website about the missing money, missingmoney.slayer.com, we have a whole series of briefing papers written by lawyers we commissioned to explain for primarily journalists and reporters or serious researchers how the financial management laws of the United States work. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, here's what you need to know. The U.S. government, so if you look at the U.S. finances, it's managed by the Treasury, and the bank account for the Treasury is the New York Fed. Okay, so the New York Fed is the depository. So you have the Treasury and you have their banker. Mm-hmm. Okay, now here's what you need to know. They are in massive violation of the laws related to financial management. Massive. They are so far outside the lane that they're not even on the track. They're not in the stands. They're in a different country. Mm-hmm. That's how far out.